Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round number 6. We are coming to the close of this tournament. Only a few rounds left to see who will be crowned the newest Treasure Cup winner. And we have Ethan Westwood taking on Che Chan, maybe? Chi? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but hopefully I am. And it looks like we are going to have Katakuri taking on Law. Another couple of different-ish decks, I guess you could say. We have seen one Katakuri, but we have not seen any Law as of yet, which is great. Hoping that we get a good matchup here, Dale. Something to...
Yeah. It's good to see Law. Like, everyone knows it's a really strong deck. People are saying it's like the second best deck in the format at the moment, or top 3 pretty safely.
Mm.
And it always feels like Law's, if it runs hot, it's like one of the best decks by far. Like, it's probably the best deck if it goes off, but I find the lows of Law so unplayably bad. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel so incredibly bad.
Yeah.
But other exciting news, this is our first alt art leader on stream in round 6.
True,
So
we got there.
one. So,
Never in doubt.
We've made progress.
Never in doubt.
This is why we need Dofi plays on stream more often. Turn 1 pudding search, great to see.
Yep.
You play Cat probably way more than me.
Yep.
I always assumed this is a bad matchup for Katakuri. Like,
look, the way that it kind of does go, Katakuri doesn't like anything that's super aggressive anyway, right? And Law just wants to go wide until it can kind of like get to its point where it does what it needs to do. So it does end up going like more to the mid/late game for Law. Yeah. It doesn't really put much pressure on earlier on. So the question really does come now to, is the Katakuri player going to be able to find everything that he needs at the end of by the end of the game? Or is the Law player going to be able to kind of control that going forward? So I can't really say that there is like a clear winner, whereas we've kind of seen that, like, Red automatically kind of wins against Katakuri if it goes aggressive. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one actually plays out. I'm very curious to see, because it doesn't really have removal, right, in Katakuri either. It just bounces something from a secret.
The only actual removal they have is like Thunderbolt, and most of the time you don't even want to play that from hand. You just want to hit it in trigger. Like,
I mean, even the secret rare, right? Like, it allows you to bounce something back to life, and that's going to be a feels bad anytime early on. Maybe later on when they get to a point where like they're playing their own, like, the Block of Law, and all their bigger bodies. But yeah, look, something that I'm not familiar with in terms of this matchup. I just know that both players, well, there you go. There's a, wow.
Law player doing Law things, trying to get 5 units on board by turn 3.
Yeah, and in this spot, to be quite honest with you, if I'm playing Law, I probably don't swing with any bodies until I'm ready to kind of do the leader effect. Like, it just, there's no point here at all using that Rush Zorro. And you can see it. He only played it for the sake of getting another body on the board and then decided not to swing. I think that's the right play.
And it sets up really nicely for next turn where you can just like go swing Law, swing Zorro, play Shambles for 5-cost Law by bouncing Nami, bounce Zorro, play Zorro again even, so you get like 2 direct attacks in if you want.
Absolutely,
and you're actually putting out a fair amount of pressure. And don't forget, he's also got 2-cost Brook in hand, so he can even don up the Law to get even more pressure out. So like the Katakuri player is facing like 4 pretty decent attacks like turn 3.
Yep.
That a lot of decks probably aren't going to be expecting.
Look, I think you're quite happy here as the Law player. I wouldn't say that you're upset playing Katakuri in this position either, but again, it does look a little bit more rough knowing that, Shambles is pretty much online, next turn, or this turn, really. But you're still sitting on 4 life, so both players actually getting what they want from this matchup.
Yep.
And now you can see
is, what's he going to shambles back?
Well, the thing is, like, he's swinging with the Zorro now, and he's fully committed into red. Like, there is no, you have to play green here now. Obviously, if he did have the Bonnie or even the beige as a 1-cost, he decided to go the Brook instead. He must have like the bigger green bodies, and red is the only thing that he can kind of play for minimal, and then bounce back. So we're about to find out like what the plan is. It's bringing back the Nami Searcher. There's the blocker. Sorry, that's not even blocker law, is it? That's the other one.
Restand law.
And here's that aggression I was just literally talking about. So now being able to minimize the impact earlier on, knowing that he's not in a position to worry, he's now been able to restand Zorro twice. If he brings him down to 2 life here, that's exactly what Katakuri players,
don't want. And
don't
like
want.
You see him
Exactly. Wow. And choosing 3 cards from hand to make sure he doesn't go down to 2 life.
And like even then, he can't swing at anything but the Zorro that's rested, which you probably do have to try and remove.
You do. Absolutely do.
Like but he's got a blocker and like, I don't know. It's just looking rough.
I feel like if you're the law player here, I know you got 2 life as well, but when your board looks this good and you've got a blocker on field as well, no way for, like I said, Katakuri to remove those bodies. Oh, you're very happy here, I feel like, if you're playing law. Your Katakuri player hasn't got to 10 Don yet. It's still another, 2 turns away? He's at 7 Don now, so he can't do it next turn either. Not being able to do the big mum to get another card and then have that 10 cost on the field, like pressuring.
Yeah, I think ideal situation is like, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, well, I don't think there is an ideal situation. You need to get rid of the law, like the Zorro, like you said. He's able to get rid of the blocker, which is still another body off the field now. It's a weenie. It doesn't matter. It will probably get replaced next turn. And Shambles comes in again. But swinging with lead now, I'm guessing he's going to go try and get into the Zorro. If he manages to get rid of Zorro here, the game changes dramatically, because then it's 2 bodies that he has to play and then Shambles on top, plus the Zorro, which is a pretty important piece to the aggression of any red deck, being off the board. Time,
you don't mind if the Zorro dies too much, because you do have a Nami in hand. You can play the Nami, you can play another 1-cost, and then your Shambles is back online. And you didn't dedicate too much for it.
Well, there you go. There's two cards out of his hand. So he disagrees with your comments there, Dale. He thinks the Zorro is more important.
This is also probably why I gave up on more. My brain can't handle it,
I was going to say, like, having that 5k body that, can swing constantly is pretty strong, and you probably don't want to replace it with a 1-cost. Well, the less you have to play, the better it is, right? Let's be realistic here.
I also wonder if he kept it because he knows there's like a cracker in Ethan's life. Because like when he peaked for Katakuri Leader Effect, it felt like he sort of revealed it to the stream. It looked like a cracker to me.
And it could also be that he has another restand law in hand. If he plays Nami for 1, searches, grabs another card, swings with the Zorro, and then plays another restand law, so he does the exact same thing again.
Right? It's not bad.
I mean, it's a pretty good turn, I'm not going to lie. And considering that you don't have to replay another law, that's minimal investment. That's 6 Don investment just to get Zorro to swing twice and lead. And now Law can swing too.
Yep. So
about to find out what the plan is. So he will swing. I think
he's just trying to bait out the I feel like you are right. There's enough pressure this turn that he could potentially go for game. Or like put him in such a bad spot.
I mean, you can bring him down to 0 and he still can't Big Mum on the turn after. But in saying that, there is nothing worse than using Big Mum for 10 and then losing the next turn because you've only got like 2 life anyway. Well, 1 life really, and then game.
The only thing you got to be cautious of is if he takes him down past 2, Cracker is then live. So he could potentially lose on the clapback. Because Cracker with double attack being 7k with 1 Don investment.
Yeah.
But looking at the way, I think his name's Shay, has set out his Don. Looks like he's trying to play in around a 5-cost also getting played. Like
I
Nami,
yeah.
Nami and Law Blocker here are insane.
Absolutely.
We're just seeing the mighty 8 Don on Brook swing.
It's
the real answer.
Looking at Katakuri, Ethan's hand. I mean, you 3 cards in hand. You've got a Cracker and a Prospero on field, 2 puddings, 2 life. Like, not the position you want to be in. Absolutely not. Again, you're not even going to get to 10 Don next turn. Shambles will be online very, very shortly. We all know he's got the Nami in hand anyway, and just constantly putting on these little pings at him. And now bring him down to 2 cards in hand. Play the Nami. Not even. Ooh. Wow. Basil?
Shambles back Brook, play Bounce Law? Yeah. Play the Nami here, right? Like, not even playing the Nami.
Wow.
Did he discard the Nami last turn or something?
No, I don't think so. Oh, is that what the combo is? That the 2 cards out of hand?
Yeah.
Oh, so he might not actually have one. Oh, well, he has. Didn't he just bounce Markino back to hand?
Yeah, but you don't want to play it again.
No, I do get that. I do get that. I'm guessing he's already shambled, I guess, so he's not really worried about playing something else to bring that back to 5. You don't really need to worry about that now.
I think his hand's looking pretty dead.
For Law?
The Law player.
You think so?
Because he had to add back 4. He had a 4K counter from field back to hand that turn. But it's not a strong, like... I'm trying to think of the way to phrase this. If he discarded his Nami, it means he's only got 1K counter in hand.
Yeah, gotcha. And you feel like there was nothing better to discard to get out of that swing.
Yeah.
And now he's keeping the Makino in hand to kind of alleviate the pressure of some of the swings that are coming in instead of putting it back down for Shambles, which he ended up using.
All of a sudden, it's starting to look more like Katakuri might actually have a chance here.
Well, he can now swing with, I was about to say, you put the Don underneath, and now when you swing with it, you'll be able to restand if he uses a blocker or if he just goes into...
Yeah.
Great card. Like, a great time to bring that out, honestly. You don't really see it being played much anymore, do you?
A lot of Law decks maybe play 1 at most.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's not a very common card.
No, definitely not. And to see that kind of come through now and put it, it's going to put in work here. Wow.
So he has to deal with 4 more attacks potentially.
Yeah. And then a possible Shambles on top.
Yeah, Shambles. Oh, that's a good card.
That is a nice card.
Gets out of that.
Basil going for its next swing. Does still have a blocker on field, so
yeah,
not going to lose this turn. Wow, takes it just okay.
Maybe it is just game here. Yeah, it looks like I reckon he's got another restand law in hand.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, if he does, it is definitely game. He has to, if you get, I mean, you'd probably want to get out of this one, but uses the blocker, and that's telling that there's not really much left in hand. Going to instantly Shambles. More. Yep, restand, Zorro. Going to swing for 9K, going for game. And that's it. He just throws up his hand and he's like, that's it. You've got me. I don't have anything else. Yep. And Shay is going to take round number 6, undefeated in this game. And we are going to go to a bit of a longer break again. These players are getting faster and faster, guys. We mentioned this at the start, but we will go to a quick transition. And then we'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes with round number 7. Don't go too far away, guys. We'll bring you the last third of today.